makers, crack music.
Y'all now rockin' with 4 for 100. Let's go. To keep it real, it's not a chore for beloved. When they say it's up, put it on the floor, they gon' love it. I popped up in all them 4 doors that they covet. All in 2-seaters, cause a few fevers. Got all the ops hot, they wonder why I'm not shot. The way we used to step on them squares like hopscotch. I'm one of them ones that God got, he starts plots. Until the clock stops, we gon' turn it up a notch. They watching the stop clock while we burning up the block. I'm still learning a lot, I son them, let them talk. I'm still letting it slide like I got my son at the park. Cause I know that we could be gunning, running from knocks, but we stop for the lesson. It's positive progression to kick it with the like-minded. Can't spend your life blinded, rewind it, arsonist behind it. Let's go. Now let that beat rock. Or like the big homie Trigger Tretch would say, haha, smooth it out now. Jers, Rayo, 4 for 100. Heat makers, the originators.
What's up, fellas?
After your Apollo.
Oh, we just saw a subscribe button last time. Oh, you did subscribe. We did say it. You know what? We'll do a little thing.
He
guys look nice, though.
He gotta get redressed and put.
You guys look nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You too, sir.
I look nice.
I see you got some new merch, huh?
Yeah, I'm about
For me?
to say.
Yeah.
Show everybody your hat. Show everybody
That's what
your
I'm
hat.
saying. I'm only 400 and out here, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Scum. Y'all know about scum.
Yeah, y'all don't know nothing about that. I'll tell you about it one day. Maybe you can get on live. You know what I'm saying? Get live on it.
Catch you with the snatcher grab.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The next time it's coming snatch grab. Or it might be the slip the tip slip.
Hey,
Tip
hey,
slip.
hey.
Can't do the tip.
Whoever figure it out, we probably send them a t-shirt.
Whoever figures it out gets a free t-shirt. You got to figure out what scum means, and then we'll
Yeah, we
That's
definitely
key.
can get you a t-shirt for that. You
All
pull that
right,
off
before
all
we
the
start,
time.
please hit the like and subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. Hit the button. You gotta hit it. Hit the button. Come join us on YouTube and come listen to all the great content we got. Thank you.
Yeah. If you made it this far listening to us, you know our content is great. Don't act like that. You know you like it.
Yeah, just subscribe.
You wrote the
Commit.
letter. You asked me, do I like you? We said yes.
Commit.
You know, it's the whole thing.
Sign the petition.
Just see me here next Tuesday.
I'm not even going to ask y'all what y'all listening to on the way over here. I'm going to ask you what y'all been bumping lately.
Been bumping lately. I
What
got
you
a
been
gym
bumping
playlist,
lately?
so it's like
I'm
some old shit.
Big gym guy.
You
now.
even got the Rocky joint.
What you listen to?
Some Wu-Tang, some I got Pac on there. I got Nipsey on there. I got Meek on there. So that's my gym playlist. I had that jumping in the car.
What Nipsey song you listen to in the gym?
Which Nipsey song?
In the gym.
Hustle and Motivate.
Hustle and motivate.
Hustle and Motivate.
That shit get you going, right? Hustle and motivate. I'd be like this. Hustle and motivate. And the other one, I'm sure him and Diddy, keep going.
Yeah.
That shit be get me going too.
For me, I was
Young N-word, young N-word.
Huh?
The song is called Young N-word, young N-word, young N-word.
Nah, stop. Nah, I was listening to that Byron Messini or something like that. The new soca artist or something like that. I don't know if they're reggae artist or I don't want to miss him. He got the nice little song out now that's bumping. So he got a song with Taliban with Burna Boy. I'll be bumping that shit in the car.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You always listen to the up-to-date stuff.
Huh?
You always listen to the historic stuff. You listen to the up-to-date stuff.
You gotta stay current.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I go outside, I know what's
And I'm afraid. I'm afraid to look past you and then go ask what he listening to.
Nah, come here. Come here, let me tell you what I was listening to. Nah, all jokes aside, like, so, again, this was based on a client that I had. I had the honor and the privilege to drive Biggie Small's son, Christopher Jr.
Word?
Yeah.
What's up?
Young Chris.
And we didn't say anything to each other the entire trip because I asked him if he wanted to connect to the Bluetooth, which he did. And he played a lot of Currency. And for the first time, I heard Currency ever. And I was enjoying his little mix of whatever he was doing. I know, of course, I was fanboying to be able to drive royalty around, the son of the Mount Rushmore. I get it. I know that I was doing that as well. But I also was like hearing Currency for the first time.
Right.
And I was like, okay, these are some nice songs. He played a couple of other things too, but I was impressed by Currency through
Listen
driving.
with him.
The hospital.
I like it.
What you was listening to?
YG.
Wagyu.
Yeah.
This guy here.
You know I like my West Coast rap.
Yo, he was in Vegas. Yeah, I was some
All
YG.
day.
That shit came
all
on that
day.
Dre's. They listen to YG. That's my shit.
Mr. Simmons.
It's rude. It's what it is.
No, it ain't
It's
because
so basic. His rhymes
Yo,
are
he's
super
so
basic.
rude. It's
you
just like
crazy.
Got my red handkerchief with my shoes on.
Yeah, yeah.
First of all, nah. See, that's how I know.
Won't be interviewing him.
Fucking up my shit.
There goes that YG.
First of all, y'all only listen to first of all, you only listen to the mainstream YG album, those songs. If you listen to the actual album, he got joints on there.
All right, I'm gonna listen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a listen to
I'm
him.
just
I'm
going
gonna take a
to.
listen to him. I'm gonna take a listen to him now. Since you said that.
I'm about to say,
Got that
whole
song. I
lot.
hate
Yeah, I'm
my
not gonna-
baby
I'm not-
mama. Yeah. I hate my
Oh,
baby
no,
mama.
see, now you appealing to my. You see, you know what you're doing. I got
Yeah.
you.
Reach.
You
Or
trying to
Toxic.
show me on this. I get
Toxic.
you. I
YG
got
is the
you.
shit, man. YG is the shit, man. You put a lot of West Coast people on his shit too. I fuck with YG all
Pulling
day.
at your heartstrings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What direction do I want to go into you guys first, right?
Hey,
here?
you.
Boom.
Into you guys.
Into
guy.
you guys.
Hey,
Boom.
you.
Into you guys.
Listen, Damon,
Boy. All right. You know what?
jump out the box. Come on.
I'm going to start with Stuart first.
All right, where we going with this?
Half on the baby. Co-parenting from dad's view. What's the proper way to communicate with the other parent?
The proper way to communicate with the other parent is communicating. You know that we're trying to. Evidently you're not together, so you already have that friction already. That you're not don't see eye to eye on certain things, or maybe y'all did, but whatever the situation is, you're not together. So it's always going to be a level of my way because I'm maybe with her more than you, or I have her and I'm trying to implement certain things. So it's just you just have to have a adult conversation and understand when you come into these things, it's not about me or you, it's about her or him or whatever the case may be. And I think that's the most important. And take your ego out of it. I think a lot of times when you're co-parenting and you're communicating, I think parents, the father or the mother, has a lot of ego invested in a conversation or the co-parenting. And if you take the co-parent, when you co-parent, you take the ego out of it, I think it'll be way better for the child than for the parent. Because that's what it's really naturally for. It's for
That's
them.
what it's about.
But
Yeah.
Co-parenting is actually for the kids. So
it's
if you
not
take
about
what you
me.
feel out,
Yeah,
got
if you take your emotion and your ego or your estrogen out of the equation, it would be a lot more smoother and on raising the kids. So I think that's pretty much what it is. It's understanding it's not about you. It's about that young being right there.
All right.
It'd be better to move forward.
I'm going to pass it to you, Mike. What is the proper way to communicate with the other parent? Half on the baby, co-parenting from a dad's point of view. Oh, no, how do you say that?
Oh, that's why I got it. All right. Proper way to communicate would be firstly understanding that other person is a parent. And I think he brought up a real good word, which was ego. I don't think it's ego driven where you're trying to show the other person up. Like he said, because of that child, both of your intention is to make the best out of the situation, meaning that you're going to always do what you think is best for the child. That person, in their mind, is always going to do what's best for the child. So if you're looking at it from that stance that they're not contesting how you feel or contesting your parenting ways, that they're doing it from the same viewpoint, that they're trying to make a situation better, you have to understand that raising a kid, just like marriage, is a business. It's a relationship. You have a partner, and at this point, probably a partner that you don't get along with too well. So it's a much harder task than trying to deal with somebody like you were dealing with them in a relationship. As far as the child is concerned, I don't think that they should ever witness you to, I'm not going to say fighting. I mean, that happens a lot, but if you could do your best to isolate it, that parent should, that child should always have their parents in high regard, not worrying about how you offended their mother or what the mother is saying in reverse to you. Because I personally have grown up in a situation where seeing my mother and my dad argue, or seeing my mother and my stepfather argue, that shit took a toll on me to the point where I would sometimes leave the house. I remember one time I was studying for a test, like it was late night, and I left the house with my school books just to go sit under a lamppost because I didn't want to entertain that shit that I knew was likely gonna be okay between them, but where it put me not being able to say anything and voice, my concern or my opinion, I was just like, I gotta take myself out of the fucking situation. But I don't ever want to put my child in that kind of uncomfortable situation. So if you can do your best to co-parent with somebody, and if you gotta have an exchange where it's gonna be potentially heated, isolate that conversation, whether it be on the phone or step outside, but don't ever let the child see you two going at it. They should know that you two hate each other if that's the case.
Mm-hmm. So I'm happy that Mike adopted my "it's a business" idea from last week, from the last episode where I said it's a business, right? So some businesses go well, and some businesses are harder to maintain, right? But in this business, it's going to continue. That's the difference, right? Like you could go bankrupt in the actual business, but this business has to continue. It will continue forever. So it's difficult, but communication is best. But so one thing that I personally have found myself hard to do is figuring out how much information needs to be included in a message, in this communication, right? Because there'll be times where a little bit of spillage of something other than the shipment will be coming at this time.
It's a shipment.
Can lead to the
UPS
destruction.
The package is delivered.
Listen, you need to know when the delivery is coming, who will be working the freight, and how will that happen. And that's all you need. The second there's an ellipsis in that communication, just the ellipsis. I didn't say any words, but just the ellipsis, just putting that in there. I've learned that finding how much and how little and how well, it's not just like, oh, I've always been disrespectful. I've always been respectful. There is no moment that you can point to that I've said anything disrespectful. So what's the problem with this communication? It gets really, really weird when you have to run a business from across the country, So communication, finding that communication, even down to the punctuations, is difficult, but you have to do it because this business will thrive.
You see, I think something, even with, I'm not going to say your situation in general, but I'm just saying general situations like that, where if you're not just, okay, you talking casually and you're just saying something like, okay, cool. And that other person takes it to a whole nother level. Like, that's kind of like they looking and they baiting for something to happen.
But I've kind of learned that it was my fault for putting that ellipsis.
Yeah. And you just sometimes you just got to give them the bare minimum.
Sometimes and I'm not luckily, but throughout this journey, it's only been a few years of having to manage it without tone, right? Excuse me. I'm now having to manage this business without tone, which is hard because at least the tone that you say it to me, in no way the shipment is coming on Tuesday. I don't get that if we're talking because the shipment is coming on Tuesday. It'll be, so-and-so working the freight and that's the way it'll be. But if you put it on text, if it's just text, it's the shipment coming on Tuesday and it go, whoa, calm down. Who's working the freight? You know what I mean? But that figuring out that whole thing, especially when it bears the baggage of a relationship, that didn't make it. And now you're just left to the concrete itinerary.
Can I say one thing? You said she texts you, right? And you said the shipment is there. Is it the fact that you thinking about how she is? So now when you read the text, you're imagining what she's saying.
You can't help it. You can't help it.
But see, there's sometimes you just, like I told you before, you got to take your ego out of it.
Okay.
And you got to remove that. You're like, all right, if that's what is coming, if the shipment's coming Tuesday, all right, cool. Because at the end of the day, the shipment's still coming Tuesday, right? Mm-hmm. Regardless of, it's a text. So if you put the value in what's being written to you, or whatever the case may be, then that's on you. Because now you entertaining something that you shouldn't entertain.
But here's the thing, right? So
it's a text message.
Hold on. No, but a text message from you comes with mad style. Text message from Mike
Because you
comes
ain't-
with,
and you
oh
ain't-
God. A text message from Cushion comes with a directive. But then I get to her and you go, yo, drop all that other shit. I go, wait, hold on. Hold on. This ellipsis means some shit.
You also at the same time, you got to know when losing is a win for you. So sometimes you got to cut the shit short because you know that it's not going to get any further. Perfect example, I was just talking, my daughter's about to go back, so we're getting school clothes together. Last pair of shoes, she was here about a month and a half ago. I bought her was a size 3.5. Naturally, for school, I'm gonna get her a size 4. Her mother says, I'm getting her a size 5. To me, that shit doesn't make any sense. For you, it does. So I'm not gonna argue you down because I know that your rationale is gonna take us into something that it shouldn't even be. You want to get her a 5? Get her a 5.
Here's the thing that I've learned. And I'm not trying to harbor on how horrible my situation is, but even hearing what size she's getting her has nothing to do with the fact that you're getting a size 4. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that spillover, that carryover in communication, because that leads into, but so what? So you buying clothes for after mines get dirty? So she's not. So what's the point of even spending? It goes into all of that.
But that's why you don't bait into it.
But that's why. This is what I'm saying.
You
This is
don't
what I'm
bait
saying.
into it.
You send the itinerary. You send a list. You send the directives. Who's going to be working the freight? What time will the shipment be coming in? Who's going to be doing stocking? And that's the way you move on. But all this communication, like I said, even down to the most adding the right punctuation and not putting a comma there, those things is really hard to do, but it's necessary in such a dramatic situation.
But when I say communication, right, I mean communicating on your level.
You ever say good morning?
Yeah.
Not acceptable.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, but that's fine. But that's your level of communication. My level of communication with mine.
Of course.
So everybody has their own.
Of course. So I want to
general-
speak for those
Yeah.
who have to run a business from across the country with absolutely no tone.
Let's go to the expert.
I kept my baby mom. No. I think it goes back to what Stu said to some degree. I think once you agree, now again, I know having relationships now is different, right? You have a relationship, it doesn't work, you have a kid, you guys, whatever, you got to deal with it. You got to take your ego out of it because co-parenting is the idea is to take care of the kid.
Mm-hmm.
So how you feel in the text or how she feels in the text or how
It's not irrelevant.
to me is irrelevant. And it's easier for me to say because I'm, I know some of the stuff sounded like, I'm removed from it, but I just think that if the idea is that the kid needs sneakers, then now the kid has 2 pairs of sneakers. That's it.
Now later.
The sizing of it, I don't, like he said, like at that moment for him a win or loss. For me, it's like the kid has 2 pairs of sneakers. And if I think your idea is dumb, I don't need to tell you your idea is dumb. I'll just buy the kid 2 size 4s. I'll make it work like that, and then we'll go from there. Mm-hmm. Like the emotion of what I think you feel from what I said, I would remove because it's just like we understand that in a business, I said this to you, and your job is to move this couch from there to there. I don't care how you feel about moving that couch from here to there. That couch has to be moved from there to there by you or somebody who works in your department. So I don't care what you got to do to move that couch. I just want that couch moved from there. As long as I don't have to move that couch, then there's no reason for us to have a disagreement.
And like I said before, you just got to take out what you think and what you're expecting and what's been given to you. You got to remove yourself from that because if you hold on to that,
Is that the relationship part, though, that makes you do that indirectly? The fact that you once had a relationship with that person,
it seems like the right answer for all occasions.
It does play a big part.
You get trapped into the, we kind of, like you start, you fuck
your
brain up like y'all together still, and you like.
He just sat here and say, yo, if I send a text, it's flashing because this is the relationship that we have. He sent a text like, you send it, it's a directive. So you basing the conversation on your image of what you had with that person. And if you basing it off that, and if you trying to, if the common goal is the child, not this person.
Is that a conversation? I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, say what you're saying.
If the common goal is for the child and not this person, not the person, you got to remove yourself and be like, like that, okay. It's like he said, sometimes a win is a win. Sometimes less conversation is better.
Yeah.
You know? When I say communication, I don't mean that you have to talk to this person every day or have an open dialogue. I say communication in the form of, for the child, what's going on with the kid? What did the child needs? This and this and that. I don't mean in a form of, hey, what you doing? You don't have to communicate like that because that didn't work for me when Naya was younger. That kind of level of communication didn't work. So our level of communication is, all right, strictly Naya.
That's what I'm saying.
That was it. No more.
Me and you agree.
And that's what I'm saying. So when she does get to that point, you can't.
Should you have a conversation though about that?
You could.
Is there a conversation that needs to be had about the lack of conversation or the amount?
No,
of
it doesn't. It don't need to really have a conversation because you're figuring out what works. And if it's working this way, you just need to keep it that way. Now, when you want to deviate and work it this way that's working, then you want to play another game. Now you fucking it up. You got to stay at one level, keep it that way.
You're right.
And at that way, when you go keep moving forward, where there's no confrontation. And that's it. If you want to play like, oh, I'm gonna be like this, then the next minute I want to be whole happy way. What's up with you? Give you. Then you making it.
You're mixing up the
You're
vibes.
mixing the vibe. Just keep it what it is. If that's what it is, stick with what it is. And if it's working and it's keeping you out of trouble, it's keeping you at a comfortable place and a peaceful place, stay there. And as long as you taking care of your kid, that's all that matters.
I think the important words you said, and we kind of try to put it to like the back end of it was relationship. You formerly had a relationship with this person, like you said, that didn't work out. But what a lot of people fail to realize is that you now have a new relationship with this person.
Okay.
You're not dating, but you're not, just like a friendship. It is a relationship of sorts, and how you treat that relationship determines how that relationship goes. But like you said, is much more of an investment now because that relationship is responsible for a third party.
Okay.
And that third party is that person that you both care about more than anything else in the world. So if you understand that relationship is over, but this new relationship we have, we could do something together and make this shit work. Not relationship-wise in terms of romantic, but the relationship like we should be some dope-ass parents together.
Yeah,
and we should be at every graduation and be able to talk to each other. And if you bring your boyfriend or I bring my girlfriend, it shouldn't be a hiccup
that would
because
be nice. Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be. It would.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice?
My parents had that.
So question.
Yo, I'm running late real quick.
Yeah,
hey,
I love your
My parents have
relationship.
that. Yeah, they
They
like,
seem
they
like
got
legitimate
that?
friends.
They got that?
when my mother and stepfather had a house down in Georgia, my father used to fly down and he'll stay with us. And I wasn't old enough, so the fellas would go to the strip club together and go hang out. You know what I mean? And then the ladies would chill and be drinking at the fucking table. And it was great because it was like, damn, I got a family.
But Tito's
And
easy
it was
to
never an
get Tito's
issue.
easy to get along with though.
Yeah, but I tried to make that shit work and it was just like, I'm a daddy son.
I know Tito. All right. Should the court systems have a say in these matters?
No, I don't.
Anti-courts?
No, listen. Your word is your word, right? You should always,
Until it's not your word.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. So your word should be your word. The courts is the adding of a gun, right? If you do this, then there'll be a gun involved. But I don't think parenting should ever be backed by a gun. It should be backed by, okay, your dad's a failure, but that's your dad. Not your dad's a failure, he should be a criminal as well. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe it should be an added gun behind being a parent. I just don't. I don't agree.
Before I go to you two, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say you should have the courts involved. And again, that's me speaking from my advantage. I'm only saying that because I think it holds everybody to a standard. And now we can't involve you deciding that you want to play a game, right? I eliminate the game. I eliminate you holding my kid hostage from me. You eliminate me derelicting my duties because there's rules set in place. Because I can make up all the rules I want, and you can be like, fuck your rules, don't fuck those papers. There's no consequence to it. But if I tell you right now, if you're gonna be with Tammy, then you can't see our daughter.
She can still do that though. She still do it.
No, and she can go to jail.
No, she don't.
Yes, she can.
No,
she
they
won't.
If
Listen, bro.
I'm gonna tell you. So I'm gonna tell y'all. Right? If there's set things and standards where you supposed to pick your daughter up on Friday or your son up on Friday, and she say, I'm not giving you your kid on Friday, it's something called a domestic incident report. You fill out, okay?
I know about
When you
that.
take that ass back to court, her scope of having authority has now lessened. So even if she had full custody, if she had whatever, you just trimmed her fat. So there's not a situation where she could just turn around and say, because you hang out with Tammy, that you can't see your kid. No, right now you fill out
So,
that.
real quick, just to ask you, because since you were talking on your expertise, right? Since you got your degree and you know so every fucking
2
thing.
years, right?
Since you got your degree and you know every fucking thing.
You only got there because they let people go who didn't pass the math.
You are one of them non-left behind ass child.
No cat left behind. That sound was for me. Don't do drugs. I was right at the bottom.
Do you think that there's a balance that the authority that you said was
That
listen?
favors the men. Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is, do you
Sorry.
think that there's a balance of like people who derelict their financial obligations and people who derelict of visitations, like those people are treated equally, or do you think, like, let's say the
It's
mother
called
has
custodial interference, before I forget.
okay, so the mother has the child, right?
Mm-hmm.
The mother has the child. The father isn't taking care of the finances. The mother isn't letting it. You think that they're both in the courts fighting the same fight? Were they both facing jail time, or they're both facing some other thing?
No, I think you're going to the extreme for me. But what I'm saying is,
I didn't mean to.
No, I know, but
I thought that was way more common. I didn't know that was extreme.
So in the event that the mom is telling the dad that you don't have the right to do something, I think most of the time, and this goes back to one of our previous episodes, people don't want to put the time in to go through the courts and do this stuff and fill out the paperwork, right? Because as guys feel like, I ain't filling out no paperwork. I'm not doing all this shit. You fill out the paperwork and you do what you got to do, you'll have full custody of your kid. People don't want to do that because they don't want to take away from the mom either. That's another thing too. Men don't want to do that. But it's not difficult to do at all. It's not difficult.
It is. Listen, you talking to a person who went through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say that you have your point of view because you
Don't touch me.
right. I can't touch you right now. But what I'm saying, you have your point of view, and getting back to that, it's good and it's not. So the whole court system is, like I said from the beginning, it's all ego.
Yes.
The reason if you even have to go to court is that's just an ego thing, an
Yes.
ego trip.
Yes.
Because and also now on the reverse side of that, going to the court, if you have a person that is not doing their job and not understand that. But if you have someone that's doing what you know they're gonna do what they're supposed to, been doing what they're supposed to do, and then you want to put the court system involved, that's all the ego trip.
Yeah.
Because
You can milk the situation.
that's the ego trip. So 9 times out of 10, no matter what happens, the man is always going to be on the back burner.
He's saying that that's not necessarily
no,
true.
but I'm telling you because I've been through it.
I know.
So I'm just telling you my personal experiences. Besides somebody telling me something, I'm telling you, I'm speaking my truth.
Speak your truth, brother. Let them speak through you.
So at the end of the day, you're always going to be on the back burner, no matter where you have or what you got going on. The court system is always gauged for the mother. So regardless of what you say and how you do it, now, like you said, you got to go through that ordinance, custodial ordinance, right?
Yes.
You have to do that.
Custodial interference.
Custodial interference. You know how long that process takes? And not only do you know how long
the
that
process takes a while. No, so don't get me wrong. I led with saying it's a process.
Yeah.
The process itself does take a while, but you can win. Most people, again, and I'm gonna say this to you, even if you putting yourself, I'm not using you, but I will say this. When your ego gets involved and you're like, I'm not really dealing with this because you're not invested. Sometimes the other party, whether it's women or men, women are just petty. Women could just sit there and be like, this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm driving home.
But this is why.
So, but as a man, usually men don't want to go that far. Men be like, I want to do it, but how far are you willing to go? Are you willing every time she say some crazy shit to you to fill out a report? Are you willing to go down there to the courts and go get an order of protection against her?
So what is crazy though? What is the conversation that's crazy? And I think again, I go back to you knowing your levels of how to deal with and cope with people. So now again, we talk about you do that, you go down that road. Now through that whole process, she's going to make it a situation where it's very uncomfortable for the kid, not for you. Because as if you don't want to be bothered with it, you easily can be like, all right, fuck it. If that's what you want to do, then do that. Fuck it. It is what it is. Now, you created that situation. for it to be like that. But if you want to be a stand-up father, you make it very complicated for you as a man and for that child. And what is, like I said, what is this really about? Is it about me or you, or is it about the child?
Right, and that's why.
And that's what we got to get down to the nitty gritty.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying that the process is not. It's not that it cannot not happen. It's that it's a difficult process that most men are not willing to put themselves in, compromising all those things you're talking about. Because most women will be like, he violated the order of protection. He texted me. They are willing to go that far to make your life, to make the situation difficult, so they can win for the win. Yeah. Most men are not willing to go that far for the win. That's what I'm saying.
Real quick, what I was saying was, when you said,
don't touch me,
that there was, when you said that what you could do, that there is a process for you. Now we've gotten to the end of that process. We're both in court. Now let's take two separate cases so that one person is in court because of dereliction of their duties, and one person's in court because of dereliction of their duties.
Okay.
If it's not going to be fair, then why include an environment where there's just going to be unfairness?
You can't
with the
always get what you want.
I'm just thinking, the question is, should the courts be involved? I don't believe that they should.
And I can understand that.
Like I said,
oh, that's right. You didn't answer.
Oh. I, too, have an opinion. What was the question?
You got stopped in front of me. He's like, I don't know what I'm going to say.
Should the courts have a say?
I know who handling the freight. I don't think the courts should necessarily have a say. Well, I'm going to say this. I don't think the court should be a first resort, not even a second or a third. If it is the very last resort, like you said, if you have to chase somebody down to assist in raising their child, their responsibility, where you have to literally get the courts involved to even find this person, then yeah, it's your last resort.
I'm agreeing to that.
But if you can't seem to, can't even seem to communicate because of your past relationship, you can find somebody as an intermediary. It could be your mom, it could be your sister.
But now you don't want to do that. You don't
want to, but I'm talking about in lieu of court. Yeah. I'd rather do that. I'd rather have, hey, drop her off at a grandmother's house. I'll pick her up at a grandmother's before I have to go get visitation rights and we have to schedule that, and it has to be every Friday. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have that intermediary where it's like, all right, maybe I can't pick her up on Friday. Is it all right if I get a Saturday and Sunday? My sister's going to pick her up on Friday? Yeah, because then you could play around, again, with having that little bit of cushion. But if you got some shit and you keep going back to, look what the paper said. Look what the paper said. This is what the judge said. Now you're kind of bonded into this hard contract, for lack of a better word, where you can utilize that as a weapon. So if the court system is utilized as a weapon in advance of actually trying to figure out what's best for the child, then like you said, then your ego's involved. And now it makes it harder for me to be a parent because I'm trying to avoid being a criminal at the same time.
All right, I can say one thing. Now, getting back to the court system, right? Sometimes it's best to have it that way.
I agree.
Sometimes it's best to have it with the courts involved. And when you was talking about adding your moms and the mothers and stuff, the grandparents to get involved, sometimes that's not even a good thing.
You just putty tank me.
No. Dude,
I said it's saying, I'm saying sometimes I say if it depends on, right, the situation. If you have somebody that you really don't,
if the relationship is difficult,
initial question is, should the courts be involved? Second answer is, yeah, in some cases it is best.
So if you have a difficult person that
just initially, the initial question is, should the courts be involved?
No, we're talking about a difficult situation. I thought,
right.
I'm not talking about we broke up and we have a kid and we're like, let's go to court. No, I wasn't talking about that.
I only said the courts.
No, I didn't, because I even referred to you saying that you don't have visitation, like you can't see your kid because you're talking to somebody else. I talk about the person being difficult.
That's the only reason why I said the court should be involved, because now you have, like you said, you have a structure.
So you agree with me?
I agree with you on that part, but what I'm saying, the court should not have to be involved if you're dealing with a person that you could be able to.
Oh, reasonable? Yeah, no.
That's it.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
If you could agree to pick the kid up Friday, if we could agree, we all, that's the same thing.
That's it.
I'm just saying that she get mad because she see you with the bust down rollie, and then all of a sudden I say, oh,
chill, Papi Chulo, chill.
You started off saying it like she should go down to the courts and talk about
it. I did not.
No,
did you interpret it that way? Did
you not hear him in the beginning? Did you not also hear him the way I heard him?
All I said is courts will only.
I thought he was just wait because the court. As soon as the question came up, and before we even went up to the next person, said, "Hey, just so you know, yeah, courts should be involved." And I just go, "How did that happen?"
I ain't give a shit about the question because I already have my answer. I was gonna answer it anyway.
You wrote that shit 2
All right,
weeks ago.
smash it. we're gonna publish. Just so you guys know,
That book is up for
that
sale.
book is that book we're selling.
It's going up for auction.
But it's crazy because it's crazy. It's always at the
A couple
first.
cue cards in the front.
Yeah, it's only at the first page though.
And if you win, he personalized and put your name in it.
Yeah. He too can write you a book of Mike. All right, smash and grab. It's a little bit of a difficult smash and grab, so I'll call it a tip slip. I'm gonna master that one. A tip slip.
Wait a
I need a
minute.
tip drill. All right, how do you handle different ideologies being taught between households?
I think we covered this before in a previous episode when it was
Previously on 4400.
previously on 4400. I think we did cover this before, and I didn't have an answer because I couldn't foresee something that would be so dramatic. And
Just say religion. Let's keep it like baseline. Religion.
What do you got to teach the child that there's other religions?
If she's a Muslim and you a Christian.
Okay. What? Everybody eat chicken?
Okay. How do you handle?
First time I didn't have an answer, and guess what?
No, I do have an answer. There's more than one ideology. You don't have to.
So you're okay.
You don't have to have a culture war in your house.
Okay.
You know, just
Like in my house, we don't eat pork, right? Like I don't eat pork,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my kids don't eat.
But there's okay.
But she eats pork.
Okay.
But my kids can't eat pork.
Yeah, my daughter.
Oh.
That's not a thing.
Because he created a standard. He created a relationship of
Yo,
this is what it is.
I'm mad this man got a line on that.
Stole.
My daughter not eating that shit.
Yeah, certain things like I don't. This is me because I wouldn't feed my kids something I wouldn't eat. So,
Yeah, but you're not feeding her.
But then you
She
can't feed my
is.
kid. But you can't feed my kid because if something, God forbid, happens to my kid, then I'm gonna blame you. So I don't want that. That's the same thing with like ideologies. If I wouldn't do something to my kid, then I don't want you to do that to my kid.
That's what you. Okay. Okay.
I respect that.
I see what you're saying.
And I respect it from the other way. If she tells me, "Hey, listen, you teaching your kid something about religion or something or whatever," and then that takes the kid down a bad path, and she's like, "Well, that's not what I wanted for my kid," and now you have an animosity. So I can understand that. So if we cannot agree on that standpoint, something I wouldn't do for my kid or to my kid, then I don't want you to do it to my kid or for my kid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was gonna say pretty much religion. If you go into a relationship anyway, if y'all had a baby together, I'm quite sure she'll know your religion or whatever the case may be before y'all even get into it. So that's even a typical conversation to have.
No, I just made it baseline for him because you couldn't answer.
I understand,
You
but
can answer it.
No.
But for me,
whatever.
whatever. But for me,
Just go
personally, this just have to be a level of understanding when you at my house. These are how I operate, and when you go over with your mama,
Yeah, that's what I'm
her
saying.
rules. And she may allow you to do that, but over
Come
here,
to my house when it's
Put on
sausage
the
night.
job.
You go to
Put
my
on
house
the
when it's
seat job.
sausage weekend.
over here, this is what we're doing, and you know what I mean. Like I don't, I'm not gonna say I don't care what you do at your mama house because I do care about what you do. If you're doing something you're not supposed to do at your mama house, I'm still concerned about you. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to
Yeah, that's a
ideologies,
privilege. I just realized as he's talking, I realize how privileged you are.
you know what I
This
mean.
privileged mother.
You know what I mean. So
Privileged
that's
mother.
Who's
pretty
that? Why?
much what it is.
Because that's a privileged ass stance.
No, but that's honestly,
not-
I didn't think about this until he just said it. But
Yeah.
No. That in that same regard, we're kind of privileged in that too. Meaning that I personally, like you said, my daughter, I don't want her to eat pork. At her mother's house, she may do so, but in my mind, I would normally think that there's some kind of conflict there. But at the same time, the child is getting variation of this and variation of this to be able to decide later for themselves what they
I
want to
wanna
do.
do.
So if
Yeah.
we're just constricting them to, daddy said this, daddy said this, daddy said this, internally it could be mommy's wrong. Or if mommy's continuously saying it, daddy's wrong. But if I got both options, like you said, maybe at daddy's house I got to cut the laptop off and lay down by 10 o'clock. Mommy let me stay up till 2 o'clock. But at the same time, when I wake up at 7:30 in the morning, I'd be too tired. At daddy's house, I don't
I don't have
So-
those problems.
Yeah, so I honestly, until he said it, I never thought of it like that. But
Giving the kids options.
yeah, because at the same time, they're still growing up as a person. So they're going to make their decisions no matter how much you as a parent and how much the other parent tries to mold them into shape, they're still gonna take what they learn from you and make their own from
Not
it.
that daddy
So if
kid.
they're
Nah,
learning-
but you
Not a
know,
daddy
but not
kid.
also
Not a
because,
daddy
but you're not times of time when you
Give me some push-ups.
Sometimes you're playing the dangerous game because the kids are always going to take the lightest way out. You understand? So
Yeah.
if I'm more structure, of course the kid want to go
Yeah.
where it's less structure over there and deal with that because it benefits them and they get to do the things that
No,
they
that's
want to do.
in their adolescence. I
Yeah.
mean, again, having those options available to you when you're young. As you get older, you'll realize, like, all right, now I can start to discern, like, maybe I don't fuck with this. Maybe I'm more, into Judaism than I was. I didn't understand any of that Christian shit growing up. So again, just being exposed to different things. Not saying that they get to determine as a child,
But give them
but
the
just
options.
just being able to see different, like we talked about before, like. You never played golf in your life, you know what I mean? But your uncle, who's a little bit more affluent on your mother's side, he does all that shit. So go hang out with him.
Or at least you got golf clubs and you don't play golf.
Yo, this is shots fired. I feel like it's shots
Man,
fired. Listen, hey, I look good in the motherfucker.
No,
You can say what you want.
he pulled the glove out and everything.
Yeah.
I said, I'm
listen,
leaving if you pull a glove out. He gonna get your shit done. All right, so quick. Yeah. So how do you handle different? Was that your answer?
That was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but like you said, at first I would think that if you're having a child with somebody, initially your ideology should align. You should be surprised by some shit like, hold on, wait, you did what? You didn't know that about somebody before you had a child. So initially you should be pretty much close to aligned on most things. And then again, you're raising the child based on what you hopefully talked about before.
Yeah,
I think those are things that should have been baseline. Even introducing yourselves into having a child.
That was gonna be my answer.
I feel like those are the things that you really have to work on. But at the same time, people have their own formulated ways of handling certain things. So just because it's baseline in the initial beginning, we are not together no more. So our baseline doesn't always have to align. And that's what it really
maybe
boils
that's
down
difficult.
to.
Yeah.
Maybe that's difficult for me, and that's why probably you just got to be with me forever.
That's what I'm saying. You're
because
privileged.
because my baselines are my baselines, whether you with me or not. For me, so ideologies in different
No,
households.
but you look so, and I'm only gonna focus on this one thing because it's easy to not be like critical of, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you said, okay, you win the you can eat pork situation in the dating scenario, in the marriage, you won that, but I win the war. The kids won't eat it. Like you get to do that, but you didn't have to like totally blend you didn't have to find a mate that also doesn't eat pork.
Yeah.
So now in this scenario, you win this one moment because you don't, and this is what will carry on.
But then I think too, it's not just him saying you can't eat pork. He probably has a.
Of course, he got a clear reason. I'm not. And nobody's saying it's not.
I think that's a prime example of having different thought process. If I come with you and just saying I don't want you to do that, why? You got to have a clear reason. If your reasoning is clear, why you feel and why you move this way with the child, or you feel like this is how it should go, because if this kid does this, this is what we're going to get to here, and she gonna be able to do this, and this is why I wanted to align it like that. If don't just come into a situation tell me I don't want to do that.
I'll do that, yeah.
And that's when you be causing the friction, and then the other person they did like, well, you just saying that just to be saying shit.
Right. Well, then that wouldn't be covered. You're right. That wouldn't be covered under ideology. That would be like you just like implementing shit just because you're trying to be gangster about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody sits on the toilet in my house.
I'm not gonna go on a wild tangent, but like we was talking about last episode with dating women with kids, that would be a barrier because again, she's already had a child that she's raised to a certain way. So if you're getting with somebody, you could pretty much expect that she's gonna want to bring the next child up in the same way. So do you already agree? That's what I'm saying. Do you agree? So you should have that.
But that's not always the case because now
my new kid is these other two kids that you can do whatever you want with them.
Pork ass babies over there.
Yeah, these little piglets. These little piglets is from the market. But this little kid is my kid.
But at the same time, if she goes in again, she knows who you are from the beginning when you get into that realm. So evidently, if she accepts you for who you are, then that means she's going to make the adjustments accordingly.
It is a conversation you have beforehand. I was asking y'all that, I think it was earlier, but I was like, that's the same thing. You have a conversation, I think you got to have that conversation so you know exactly where the person is.
And she and you never know if she allow you to, first of all, because she allowing you to come into her family, and you allowing her to be, to deal with you or whatever you have going on. So when y'all come together and you're having those kind of conversations, she may be like, all right, cool. If this is where we're going to move forward as a unit, then I take the moving as a unit, then move it individually.
Earlier when we talked episodes ago, when we talked about traveling, and I said you have to like be extremely detailed about everything. My belief that if you're going to be moving with someone or for someone, it should be with all of the details worked out. But the more and more we talk and the more I reflect and watch old episodes, I realize that it is absolutely essential that when it comes to child rearing, that like all of it get worked out.
Yeah, you know what it is too? I think I know we all said a lot in there. I think the sum and substance of it is though that it always has to be about the child, what's in the best interest of the child.
Absolutely.
And I think too, a lot of times when parents get out their fucking feelings and shit, then they see other people in their situations, and I could probably pretty much speak to from my personal perspective of that, because she told me that. She was like, "Damn, the shit that we argued about was petty." When you see someone else going through certain shit that you didn't have nothing to you didn't have nowhere near the type of shit that they had going on with dealing with their other situations in their family, and you look back and you're like, you know what? I was in my feelings. Oh, I was. But that comes with over time and being consistent and being a parent. And then once you do that, then those things start to formulate, because now they start to see like, I should just let that go. That wasn't important, but it's all right.
All right. I'm gonna change gears here a little bit. We're gonna be jumping around on this episode.
Jump around.
Jump up.
Get down.
Yeah.
Jump.
Big boys don't cry. Men's vulnerability. How should men express not feeling loved or the lack of affection?
So for me, again, I'm not trying to be unique. I just place myself in a unique place my entire life, which is that who I am and how I move is all based on me. It has to be me. So not feeling loved from the other person is not that person's responsibility. Like, I don't need you to love me. I have to love me. I can't there can never be a day where like, you acting funny and that makes me feel.
But that's, okay, so I think that's where, and I'm not trying to change your answer, but I don't know if that's not self-worth or self-reflection. I'm saying in a relationship, right? Mm-hmm. The dynamic of the relationship. This person in the relationship makes you feel not loved. You don't feel the affection from this person. How do you express that?
Oh, I'm out.
Or should you?
Or should you?
I'm out of here. Because the truth is, whatever it is, like, one thing that I've learned early is like, let people be as comfortable as they want to be. Let them leave stuff where they want to leave it. It's not just like
fuck no.
No, hold on. But this is why. Because when you start realizing that she ain't never gonna do no dishes, because she just drops, she doesn't even move them from the nightstand, or you shit, not the nightstand. We don't eat in the bed, right? I'm just saying, like,
that's some real fat
she'll
shit,
move from the
chips of it.
Mad chip crumbs on his.
You can use this one.
Belly tray.
But from the table, like she never assists in that way, or she never does this. You get that comfort. I want you to be as comfortable as fast as possible, so I can go, this ain't gonna work, because it's just going to carry on.
He just want to ghost motherfuckers.
So you're looking for out. You're not looking for
no.
He just doesn't want to prolong this shit that's gonna end up happening later. So if you a fucking mess already, show me you a mess. All right, I'm out.
Yeah, because who am I to believe that I could make you not a mess?
But why would you want to even mess with the person that's a mess in front of jump?
That's what he's saying. He'd rather know early that you're not.
Yeah. Yeah, like...
Or when I try to set the standard, I'm not going to try to change the answer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, but what you want in this very simple scenario, what you want is, hey, grab that plate and can you do the dishes?
No, not can you. Wash them dishes, woman. No.
I'm just saying, that's...
Where my belt?
Who you talking to?
Say it again.
One of these days, Alice.
A side I tell you on the whipping ties.
Mike, are you done on your thought?
Yeah. I want you to be as comfortable as possible.
So your answer in that is you don't need to express your of lack of affection. You just are leaving.
Yeah, I'm out of here, man. What you talking
All right.
about?
So Mike, how should men express not feeling loved or lack of affection?
Shouldn't. I don't think you should do that at all. It's sad, but it's true. But I don't think that men catch any sympathy, even if from the person that you are heavily involved with, the person that you desire to spend the rest of your life with. I've seen it happen. I'm not saying everybody does it, but they weaponize your emotion as a man. So if you're saying that you're feeling inconsequential, or if you're feeling just out of it, if you're not the epitome of alpha man holding shit down and doing it right, like kind of what we talked about of not letting people know if something is breaking you, because it could be weaponized in turn. And I think that I've seen this shit happen. It's happened to me. If you voice how you feel about a certain situation and it's not what they want to hear, then it looks like you're
A bitch.
a bitch. You're emasculating yourself in front of them so they can use that context later when they think you are acting like a bitch to confirm it, because you told me you was feeling like a bitch that day.
Does the weaponization
it's
of
a
it?
fact.
Does the weaponization of it bother you as much as the actual emotion?
The weaponization,
Like it
it
being
would
thrown at you
bother
like
me
the,
if I didn't know that it was possible.
okay.
If I didn't know that me continuously putting a knife on the table and you had the opportunity to stab me with it, then you know what I mean, it would bother me because you just bought that shit from underneath your seat. You know what I mean? I knew it was there, so I knew you could use it. But if you just bringing it out again in the middle of disagreement, or God forbid there's enough people around to say some shit, I don't think you should voice your opinion, because 99 out of 100, I ain't even gonna say 90%, 99 times out of 100, it's likely not gonna benefit you beyond that
You got it
quick
out.
defined period of time. Like, oh, you feeling like this? Let me comfort you right now. But later, I'm gonna let you know about yourself, because I don't think that it was cool you shared that.
Yeah.
And it won't be outright said, but that's
You'll feel it.
how most men feel. And I think most times you probably just more so have to lean in for implied consent. So if you feeling like you're not getting affection, she's sitting down on the couch, you go sit right next to you, lay down on for a little bit. But you can't just be like, hey, I'm feeling kind of under
Feel like
loved
kinda
at this
lonely.
point. Can you give
Feel
me
like horny.
you know, look at you like, what?
Like lonely, big dick, drummer chick.
So
Yeah,
you
no,
gotta
I'm
wait
a
for
chick.
it. Wait for that love to come, and then you lean into it.
Wait for the love. Go to the expert on this. You get in trouble every day. How should men express not feeling loved or the lack of affection?
Okay, well, for me personally, like I said in episode 2, my mom and father didn't raise me, so me personally, I don't feel like anybody that's not me or my children are guaranteed to do anything for me. So depending on how you treat me, or whatever the case may be, because I'm an easy person to get rid of. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very easy person. I ain't gonna fight you. If you don't want to fuck with me no more, all right, cool. I see you when I see you. You know what I mean? I'm very easy to get rid of. I'm not a hard person to get rid of, because I
Easy like
love
Sunday
myself.
morning.
Yeah, very. I guess I love myself enough, and I found how to deal with loving myself without having to worry about depending on from somebody else. But if you do not show me the love that I deserve or I feel like I need from you, not saying I need it, because that's kind of contradictory.
Oh, you need it. Let's not
Everybody
take
need
away
love.
from it. You need
Yeah,
love.
but if you
You
don't,
need your person.
You're valuable.
right? If you don't
You worth
show
it.
it,
Let 'em speak to
I know
you.
I'm worth it. Don't you ain't gotta tell me that. But if you don't show it to me, you get a shell of Stewart. You don't get the full Stewart.
Yeah.
So whatever you give me, I'm gonna pretty much reciprocate the same energy back to you. So if you give me the, all right, so I'm in with you. Now it's gonna go to a point where, like, how much you want to deal with that.
Do you express it though? Do you find yourself, or growing up, have you found yourself in relationships telling people, you know, I don't feel.
Yeah, you gotta express it, but females don't listen. They don't listen. They can tell you.
That's in the best case scenario.
They-
Mike's is the worst.
No, I'm
You know,
saying, but
they don't
so
listen.
Let me hear. All right.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Say, I got. Go ahead.
Let me hear you tell me you don't feel love.
First of all, whoa.
Not me per se.
No,
Just pretend.
first of all, you put me on the spot right now.
I want to hear Stuart say.
I
save it for another episode.
But like I said, at the end of the day, you get a Sheller Stewart. The Sheller Stewart is that may not be what you really want, because the full Stewart is the loving person, a happy person, a jolly person, the person that you would want to be around, that you can have a great time and a great vibe with. But if you don't listen to what I say, if I express myself, I'm not going to keep telling you over and over and over and over again, because that means you really just hearing what I'm saying and you don't give a fuck.
You're way more interested in that other version of me.
Yeah, and you're not caring about what I'm saying to you. So if you don't care what I say to you, then it makes no sense to keep talking about it. And I'm not going to keep mentioning it to you. If I express it to you once, I express it to you twice. Third time, I'm like, oh, well, fuck it. Peekaboo. See you when I see you.
Peekaboo.
Don't bring it up.
So you
Don't
think,
bring that shit.
so how do you feel about that?
How should men express not feeling loved or lack of affection? Okay, the younger me, I think that, again, we go back to the earlier episodes when I talked about being petty and stuff like that. I definitely have grown as an adult to say you can't be petty. I think not feeling loved or feeling affection, whether it's from relatives or it's from a significant other, I think it should be expressed verbally. What you were saying is a dangerous thing to get it thrown back at you, but
you ain't a little bitch.
yeah. But I think as
this
Nigga scared.
But I think at the same time, it has to be a level of vulnerability, because I feel like as a man, I know people always say women, they got so much on their shoulders, or moms, they got so much on their shoulders. But I think people forget about the man, right?
Yeah,
they do.
Whether you are a man that's separated from your girl with a kid, or you with her, she's your responsibility. That child is your responsibility. That house is your responsibility. If things don't go right, it's your job to make sure things go right. And people don't realize that. When you go outside, nobody's going to accept a house husband who just sits at home and just whatever, unless you come from some financial backing. They expect when you leave out that door, you earn and you come back and
bringing it in.
Everything you dealt with to earn, right?
Yeah.
Because people could talk to you crazy in order to, when you have your job, it could be, if you're in a job where you have to deal with people, they could treat you like that. You could have lost money. You could have got a flat tire. She ain't entitled to change no flat tire if you get a flat. If something go wrong with the car, to her, that's Japanese. She don't know what the fuck you talking about. If something happened to your kid, you got to handle it. If something happened to your wife, you got to handle it. If something happened to you, you got to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So now, not only are you responsible for that, when you come home with that weight on your shoulders, sometimes I think as men, we don't know how to express, you've been here all week, but you've been chapping to your friends, but I feel like I haven't just got a conversation from you.
So,
or if I want physicality, like, I want to feel wanted too, not you rolled over and let me fuck you, for lack of a better term. I know that may sound vulgar, but I'm not trying to be vulgar. I'm just making an impact on it. It's like, I want you to want to have sex with me. I want you to want me, like when you see Trey Songz on TV, or you see Will Smith without his shirt on, you go, ooh, I want that same emotion.
Right.
Be shared at times, not every day, but in those moments. And I think that we lack that. I think that you should, to express that, I think you should express it, because I think it gives you the perfect opportunity to say, I put my all into a situation.
But when you express it, right? Because as at a certain point, as men, when you all been in relationships, that you want those things, because it's not everybody you want that from. You don't give a fuck about it. Some people
we talk about relationships that's worth it.
That's worth it.
The one.
And you express those things, and they hear it and they interpret it to something else.
I think they take advantage.
So
and that's the problem.
This is what I was saying. So this is not to contradict anything that anybody's saying. With all of the risk out there, when you say, listen, I have to go through hell and high water, I just want to come home and feel loved. Love on me, right? And then that person
love on
says,
me could be seen different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. But then this person says that message goes unheard. And then this person is saying, not only did you hear me, but then you threw it back in my face that I needed you, right? With all that going on, I think it's best that if you get it, oh, that's dope. That's super dope. And let it interrupt you doing all of the hell and high water. Let it interrupt it. Like, oh, you love me. Oh, I am loved. Oh, whoa. Like, okay. As opposed to putting yourself out there, because if these things happen, not only did you, it's like, think about it as going to the doctor, right? What if you go to the doctor and the person doesn't hear you at all? Or you go to the doctor and they go, well, what do you want? You're unhealthy. Whoa. Not only did you walk in here with your original problem, now you have the problem of feeling unheard or heard and abused. So I'd rather just grab me some elderberries and some zinc and whatever else I need to do and use the mullet till I get it done myself.
And I'm gonna say this to you.
But I think
Can I say one thing?
Self-love.
Mortar and pestle.
Can I say one thing now? Say you're dealing with somebody on a real rounded level. So when you share it, you saying that you pretty much sharing because you want to say, I left nothing unturned because I voiced this to you. And if something goes to the next level, I already expressed it to you. You can't say I didn't share this with you.
I told you what I needed. Yeah.
I told you what I needed. You couldn't perform. You couldn't do what I needed you to do as a person that I needed that from. So now if it goes left, now you get it and you understand it. Now this person can never say, oh, you never told me. I told you.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of even
and you cannot leave out the house.
That's the only place you can get it. That's the this is why I've learned to love myself and not trying to be funny.
Trust me.
No.
I'm not saying that you guys don't.
Hold on. I love me some meat.
Yeah.
I'm finna go.
I don't want that.
Yeah. I love me twice this morning.
I just think I got it. I got here on the love train.
Yeah. If I had tents, I love me in the car. No. No, I hear what you're saying. I think that expressive as a person, and for lack of a better term, a bitch. I could feel like a bitch, but I will say to you, and I think I'm old enough too. It took me time to get here, to say,
I need something.
and I need it from you. I don't just need something. I need it from you. I need to feel like when I left out this house and I came back in this house and I'm sweating or I'm bleeding or I'm feeling abused at work or I'm not feeling loved outside for whatever reason. Like I'm arguing with my friends, I'm arguing with whatever, and I come home and I'm like, yo, you got to hear what happened to me today. And you like, I'm watching Real Housewives? That's not okay.
You also, you're admitting that you recognize you need this. It's not like somebody else is telling you like, yo, man, you're going to do this for you. Like, nah, man, go ahead with that shit. But you recognize internally like, yo, I need this.
Yeah.
I need this to feel better. I need this for us to function together. I need this for tomorrow to be okay. I need this.
Yeah, I'm there.
But at the same time, how do I express this knowing that?
Throw it at me. Listen, at this point in my life, I do understand what you're saying. Weaponize it. But it goes back to what I was talking when we talked about the episode. I'm not ashamed of feeling like a bitch at this point. Because I know every day, like I told you, when I leave my house and I get in my car and I bust my ass for my family to whatever, like you said, when you get your daughter her shoes, when you do all that shit, you know every fucking moment you wasted to spend that $1 to get your daughter her shoes, right? So if I'm telling you from the deep of my heart, like I don't feel loved for that, and you throw it in my face and say, well, you sound like a little bitch. I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch. Yeah, I'm a bitch. Treat me like one. Flew me out.
But
and that's fair.
You know what's crazy? Because remember we talked about that when we said celebrity crush. And one of my celebrity crushes was Jill Scott, right? And the reason why I picked her, not because of what she did on the microphone or whatever the case may be, she gave you.
Is that gonna come up on the screen when we
I think I'll put it in. Don't even worry about it.
Took a long walk around the block.
But the reason why I picked her because she gives you that aura, like whatever burden that you had outside. You come home and she's going to be there for you to lift you up and not tear you and help not tear you down. Because like you said, we go through so much shit outside.
Yeah.
You got to deal with people at work, like you said. You got to make sure everything is good. You got to take care.
The regular crazies, what you're looking at, like I didn't even know you was part of my
For
day.
everybody outside, I gotta
Not-
come home
and-
and fight the queen. Like, what the fuck?
And not,
The final boss.
Yeah.
I don't love you
Mario
either.
and not only that, you got to deal with the planning of thinking about executing things for the long haul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People forget, like, I got to make sure I put things in plan that's going to make sure later on that we're good still, not just for the moment. Where sometimes you're dealing with a woman and she's like, what I want now.
And that's and what I want now is gonna hurt what you need to do
later.
Yeah.
So
right.
and that's another thing.
Time
too.
versus money. I like I like this. I swear I do.
So, you know, and
I gotta
think that's
smash
one
and
of the things
grab
you
y'all.
go through,
Yeah,
you know?
I gotta smash and grab y'all. Or tip slip.
Tip slip.
Here we go with this one.
Yeah, you know tip slip is coming out.
We ain't got no graphic for that.
I'm gonna have a little tip slip.
With the brown skelly.
Yo, at what point is it acceptable to draw the line or walk away?
Yo, when you feel it, when you need to, because essentially you do need it. You do need it. You need it, and you deserve it. But I'm not gonna force you to do anything. I'm not gonna make you pick up that dish and take it out there and understand that a clean house is better than a dirty one. I just have to go.
You just still fucked in a dirty house, so that's. So of course she don't give a fuck about moving on this.
Nah, you got ballrooms.
You just fucked me on this fucking dirty street.
Pack of M&M's was stuck to my back.
Hold on, let me get that futon out.
Smash and grab. At what point is it acceptable to draw the line or walk away?
When you personally feel like it's hitting, it's not going.
Deaf ears?
Deaf ears, and it feel like that person really doesn't give a fuck about what you have to say. That's when you just be like, all right, it is.
Talk to
what
me,
it
Mike and Mike.
Yeah, it's time to walk away when you can admit to yourself that you are now overwhelmed. When the person that was supposed to be essentially easing your life and trying to make it a little bit more peaceful, like you said, you want to come home to some peace. But if you come home and you're completely overwhelmed, I think if you could have that conversation with yourself and just say, this shit ain't it, then it's time to walk away.
I think it's time to walk away when you express what you express, and not that it's going unheard, because you have little times where they try to change it, right? Like they'll try to, like if you say, hey, I don't like when you do this, and they try to make the attempt, that's a fair thing. But when it legitimately is, well, that's your problem. When it's my problem, and I've expressed myself more than once. Oh,
Did you just? My man just sniffled, man.
Just
He
quit on
felt
somebody.
that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because you're
I
not
told
gonna.
you, I'm easy to get rid of. I'm
Yeah.
easy.
I'm difficult to get rid of.
Nah,
I'm
you're
difficult.
difficult. I'm
I'm
easy.
Yeah,
hard.
so it matters
I'm
that
hard.
this
Oh,
person.
so he say he love hard.
I do. I love hard.
No,
If
but
I
that-
love,
but
if
that-
I'm
that's the
gonna
difference.
love you, and I'm gonna be in a situation where I'm giving you a situation of a level of vulnerability, and I'm telling you this is how you made me feel, you better take heed to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when that
I
moment
ain't
is
telling nobody else this shit.
exactly, because
Yeah.
when the shit is withdrawn from you, then you all of a sudden now and how many people have relationships? People
right,
that
you right,
I
you
didn't
right.
know you. I didn't know you felt like that. Oh,
You
you didn't
right,
know?
you
You
right.
didn't hear when I told you. When I told you, and I told you.
The other shit is that's one extreme. Like if you know that I'm finally asking for something and I'm trying to be a little bit vulnerable, you know my other extreme is I'm gonna shut all the way fuck down and
That's
I'm
why I
gonna
say you
fight.
get the shell.
So if you're not gonna consider and meet me at least halfway, then you know that my other extreme is fighting.
And I'm
So-
giving somebody the best of me.
Yeah, now you're gonna catch hell because
Yeah.
I already tried to give you the out to assist me, but at the same time, if you took it and threw it in my face, or if you willfully just disregarded what I said, now you catching the other extreme.
I'm a victim though, so if you throw things in my face, I'm definitely I'm gonna weaponize your weapon against me.
Oh, yeah.
I know that. I will lay on the floor hurt.
My man will double victim your victim.
Yup, you know me. You said what? I can't get up today.
I see your victim and raise your fall.
That's me.
Murder suicide.
Yeah, murder suicide. That's it. That's me. That's me.
Yeah, actually, I'm
Hold on,
gonna
hold
kill
on.
myself.
No, you can't go first. You gotta
She
watch
killed
me
me.
being paid first. I'm going first, so you can watch me being paid.
That's me. What was that movie Sicario? Right. That was a dope ending. You can't kill me in front of my kids.
Ooh.
No problem. That's me. All right. I'm gonna go to you first on this one, Mike, because I want to see where you want to go on this one. Diamonds in the sky. Alien disclosure. Did you believe in aliens before the recent disclosure? And what are your thoughts now?
I have been a proponent and believer of the aliens for a really long time. We talked about this the other day in terms of ancient aliens, but I think I've been studying long before that in terms of the recent disclosure. I think it's maybe an eye-opener for some people, but I've always believed in aliens. I read, it's a pretty famous book now, Chariots of the Gods by Zechariah Sitchin.
Okay.
And it's
Is it an
about,
audiobook?
It's about, yeah, it should be now. It's about, it seems very fanciful, but it's about essentially aliens populating Earth, and that's kind of, it alludes to the missing link. Y'all know about the missing link where we don't know how we got from ape to human, or, you know, whatever the missing link is. It kind of describes a period where aliens populated the species on Earth. But Bob Lazar, other astrophysicists that work for the government, that was a whistleblower back a while ago. I think that there's a lot of people that were in fear of being ostracized, because obviously if you worked your way up to have a certain amount of clearance that you're now sharing with the world, we're going to make you appear crazy. So people are afraid to say anything, and I think that all of the recent disclosures, because of now there's whistleblower protection, so you can't get put in jail. You probably still get off.
Well, not even whistleblower protection. You ever think that? I mean to interrupt your thing, but you ever think that? I think that there's so many cameras. It's so many things
Now
you can't. You just can't have a 10-foot thing walking past here, and we just go, "What's that?"
That was my second part of it. Is that there's so many large scale sightings at this point that could be corroborated via phone evidence. Like Phoenix Lights was one where literally counties of people saw the same shit, and
or the shit that happened in Vegas recently.
Vegas, or even Temple Mount in Jerusalem, where they had the UFO above the guy where Jesus was.
Yeah.
I think that there's so much available evidence where I would say this: you can't dismiss it. If anything, you should be able to discern from yourself, but you shouldn't just dismiss an idea because you don't believe. I feel like it's enough shit out there for you to make a decision for yourself.
What you think, Stu? Is aliens dropping down in Jersey?
Listen, I don't know.
Let's start drinking water.
You know what? Like we grew up with this. You know, we grew up with the fantasy of the TV, the movies, cartoons, and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, this universe is massive, and I I highly doubt that only one planet in this whole entire galaxy, universe, whatever, has life. And I believe that there is some form of life that's out there. We physically have not seen it yet, but when it does come out, it come out. But at the end of the day, it's not. I ain't really gung ho on it. It's like, all right, I hope I ain't have sex with one. You know what I mean?
We're gonna have more 400.
It's our next host.
Terrestrial? Like, yo,
Terrestrial is crazy.
I'm just saying. You say, nah, because you know, he said that they populated the Earth, right? So I was like, you never know. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it is what it is, man.
They speak about that stuff like in Greek mythology.
Yeah, they speak about it, but
the Nephilim.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, bro. It's like you think it is, but until I see scientific proof, then that's what I.
You like out of sight, out of mind for you.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
All right, as long as you don't get your ass grabbed by alien, you're straight.
Then Terminator girl with the 3 titties and shit.
Oh, that was classic.
Yeah,
It seemed like that's what you're looking for, because you just referenced this whole thing to sex.
Yeah.
My bad, beloved.
Listen, I've never seen in the description that she had a fat ass.
Yo, she was bad as well. Bad and blue G.
All right, Vika, did you believe in aliens before the recent disclosure, and what are your thoughts on that?
I don't believe in aliens. I do believe in stories that carry on throughout time that we don't understand, and where we are right now does not have a direct reference to that, right? Like anything. But then I just watched a video where there's an American Stonehenge that lines up directly with the Stonehenge that we know. And it's just like, there's a bunch of things that happen that we just don't know. And those that do know.
7 wonders of the world.
Yeah, like there's so many, you know, like that box that has a bunch of gears and can like tell like solar eclipses and all that other stuff. And
Antikythera mechanism.
Yeah, there we go.
Say that again for the audience.
The Greek Antikythera mechanism.
Yeah.
It's really it's a machine, but that was used to kind of.
It's like an Audemars, but like way older. like,
Like the first Audemars watch,
It's a
baby.
navigational tool.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's supposed to age and predate a bunch of all of this other stuff, right? That the capabilities of the lifting of weights in Egypt and all these other things we just don't know. But just because we live here now where we don't have these magical powers, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I just don't know.
I not to cut you off, but I watch like National Geographics or the History Channel, like they still can't discover or figure out how they built the pyramids.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna.
That shit is beyond me. Like,
Yeah.
how these motherfuckers
Aliens, bro.
brick by
I don't
brick.
believe it's aliens, but at the same time, you kind of made sense of something that I don't even think that we're the first human species. I think that they've talked about in biblical times or these previous ages. So I'm not sure that, again, prior to the flood, humans didn't build that. But at the same time, the humans that were so advanced to build that didn't get in the fucking spaceship and get out of here.
I think, all right, like
We trying to terraform Mars now and build shit on the moon. So who's to say that people that are so far advanced that we can't even figure out their triangle didn't figure out getting to the moon just as fast?
But if those people are so far advanced, then why are they not able to come back around?
why they
I
crash
think-
it?
I
they
think
crash it in Nevada?
No,
nigga?
so
Like,
two things.
Teenagers.
So
Those
this is
are teenagers.
so the teenagers.
Hey, drunk driving through Nevada, nigga.
Wrong turn,
Going
right?
aliens is smart now.
So
Some of them niggas is drinking and flying.
They got high on alien
I know,
juice. You know what I
real
mean?
So two things. One, like this is just my theory, right? This is my
Right.
theory. I do think that the nuclear powers have something to do with them not visiting us. Even the amount of nuclear weapons that the world has, right?
I
Like
don't think so.
They shut them shits down.
no, but you see, they're always seen around those sightings.
That's what I'm saying. When they're about to shoot it off, they fuck up all of their communication systems.
But I
and
think
shut
we
it
have
down.
them as a deterrent for them visiting. Only because you look at if you go Google the world's amount of missiles, right? How many nuclear weapons does it take to destroy the world? Probably
Just a
3.
couple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Why do we have 200 or something of them?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's a deterrent for those other things to be here. But
Are you trying to call nuclear power kryptonite?
I do. To a degree, I think it is.
Uh-huh.
Because even the sightings are all around nuclear plants.
Oh, but that would be dope. I like where you're going.
Yeah.
See, I'm too much of a
Reactors and all that
Yeah,
shit,
all that-
I'm too much of a conspiracy theorist, like just as a viewer, to not enjoy that.
But-
Because what you're saying is like, yeah, we live in a world where there are no magical powers for human beings, right? But you're saying only because we've created the kryptonite that keeps them away, so that those who are in charge rule the world and not the
It's
aliens
not
who
even
are
the
stronger than
kryptonite,
us.
though.
Hold
It's
on,
not.
hold
It's
on.
I
not
don't even-
kryptonite. It's
But
a
let me-
defense.
let me
Hold on,
say-
wait.
Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's not kryptonite. It's a defense. So if you imagine that we, as the most dominant species on this earth, can literally dominate over every fucking animal alive and being, to recognize that, oh shit, we're not the top. It's scary as hell to know that something is potentially flying into your home. So if you think about,
Because you don't know
again,
their intent.
us versus
Or if you
ants.
do.
If we see ants having a fucking war on an anthill, we're not bothered by them. It's not affecting us. But if one of them decides that they figured out nuclear fusion and can blow up a couple anthills, now you fucking with us.
Yeah.
So in that same regard, if you could potentially destroy a planet, you could potentially destroy more. So I'm coming here to make sure you're not doing that shit to my backyard.
Or they destroy other planets before.
Right.
eaters.
Or what I would say is this, right? Let's be for real. If they could travel light years away to get to this motherfucking planet, you think some fucking nucleus is going to stop
Yes,
them and destroy
yes.
them? I don't think
I
so.
like that story.
Yes,
I don't think
I
so.
do.
Kryptonite
And
stops
I'll tell you this.
Superman.
And I'll tell you.
He just called nuclear powers.
And I'll tell you this.
Factual.
And I'll tell you this too. And this again, this is my opinion. I'm just.
Yeah,
saying
he
this.
making this up. Let him make
You
it
gotta
up.
think. No, you gotta think about factual, because if you watch all the.
Factual. Don't use that during
You gotta
conspiracies.
do. It's not a
Yeah.
conspiracy at some point.
It's a
At some
dance.
point, when you're talking about our actual navy or you're talking about our military interacting with these things or them recovering them, it's not made up no more. This is our government physically saying
First
Yeah.
of all, they didn't say all that.
Yes, they did. You didn't watch you didn't watch Congress?
Yeah, hold on.
It's the UFO hearing.
It was a whole
the
hearing.
hearing was a bunch of malarkey about people saying like,
No,
yo,
not
listen,
people. No. Our military encountered.
You ever seen the gimbal video where that shit's above the clouds going 1,000-something miles?
Or when
an hour?
they
It
chased
said
them and they were telling them don't
I heard an
engage.
explanation for that. Go ahead. What was that one?
No, when our military was chasing the object, okay, and they was like, do not engage
Gimbal
it.
video.
Oh, well, whatever. But it was two. I saw two separate videos of our military actually interacting with it. And now I'm talking about a guy again, because Bob Lazar, these people, and I'm not taking anything from them. Their things are, they know people in the government who said things, and we could take that for what it's worth.
And he said shit. Go ahead.
But we have to, dealing with what's in front of us, when there's videos, when there's people who've actually interacted, who've been hooked up to lie detector tests, things have happened to them.
I gotta see it, bro. I just gotta see it.
Yeah.
You could always
It's out there.
sit there and they evidently found justified reasons for whatever so-called what it was, right? He found justified reasons for it.
But they're not calling them UFOs. They're calling them spacecrafts.
No, it's UAPs. now.
UAPs.
It used to
because
be
nobody's
UFOs.
because nobody's saying there's a green man walking down the block. Somebody's acknowledging if right now something flies out, something flew out there. We're not taking that away from whatever happened. Like you're discrediting that. I'm not discrediting that.
No, I'm just discrediting. I'm just discrediting the fact that, like,
Because they have down crafts, right? Let me just finish this thing, right? They have down crafts, right? And this is another thing that this is a factual thing. That some of these crafts has been reverse engineered. And it does explain how we have military stuff that does things that is just not scientifically possible.
100 years ago, we was on.
But we don't know what's scientifically possible when this conversation is shot in this room, in this studio, and will be broadcast to millions of people.
No, if you're telling me that,
Hold
if
on,
you're
what
telling,
I'm saying
if you're
is-
telling me that a plane, if you're telling me the person who invented a plane or people who deal with planes, the experts, tell you that planes need to do this in order
But they're
to do.
not the experts, is what I'm trying to tell you.
So who would be the expert then?
You would be digging and building clay like a child would.
Who would be the expert? And let's stick to the plane conversation. If I go to the person who,
The Stonehenge people.
No.
The macrophia
what he's-
mechanism and
McAfee Security.
if you go to Bill Gates, right? If you go to Bill Gates, who builds Microsoft or whatever,
he's not
the
the
case is.
smartest person.
No, what
He's not. He's not.
saying
Okay,
is,
he's
what
not.
he's saying is, if you are going to the smartest people, aka the rocket scientists,
Those are not the smartest people.
Let me just.
So who's the smartest
bear
person
with me.
then?
Bear with me. I'm saying, if you're a rocket scientist and you figured out how the rocket go up, then who the hell is smarter than you?
The person who's actually keeping the secrets. If you know about it, it's not a secret.
Okay, all
That's
right.
the part, and I've always said that.
But that's the point that he's making, is that the secret can only be held for so long.
So if this
No,
one,
no,
So if this one person, so you
Bro,
telling
if
me?
you're
So hold
holding-
on. So before
Not
they-
this one
so-
person.
So if the secret was that, if the secret was back then, like you said, there was no aircrafts before. At some point, there was no aircrafts, right?
No,
That person knew that that they could
But
have aircrafts.
no. This
No, let's stop jumping. Don't jump.
No.
Don't jump. Before
I'm telling you, if you
don't do
stay
that
in here,
jump.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
No,
if you
you're not.
stay
Hold
here.
on.
Here's how I'm gonna fuck you up if you stay here. Mayans got airplanes, little airplane toys.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
All right.
so
there
that's
was
why I
always,
didn't want to go
so
there.
there was
That's
always
why I didn't wanna go
airplanes.
there.
So there was always airplanes. So they always knew how to engineer airplane.
Mayans have
Hold on.
toy.
No, hold on.
Or did they see
Hold
him?
on. Hold on. Or did they see him? Or did they see him? So the question is, you're telling me that Mayans had aircraft?
Toys.
You talking about the little gold
Yeah,
shit
there
that
we go.
Giorgio Tsoukalos wears?
Yeah, my man is on it.
So
But even he said that he thinks that they
It's an
saw
alien.
representation. You ever see the uncontacted tribes? The uncontacted
Yeah.
tribes that see the airplane go over and they try and build the airplane out of straw?
Okay.
So they're making a relic because that's what they've seen. It doesn't mean they actually have airplanes. They're mimicking because to them, those are gods. Those are magicians. Those people that do what we cannot do. And for the same reason when you said like, well, why would nuclear deter
He
you
called
know,
it kryptonite, not accepted.
why
the
would
answer.
nuclear deter people that or
I said my belief. That's
aliens
not
that can
facts.
get here from
I
other
said
star
it's up there.
systems? Why would nuclear deter? That's just the strongest shit we had. So when we go to look at these uncontacted tribes, yeah, we got all kinds of machinery and weapons. But if they come out the jungle throwing spears and sticks, we gonna get the hell out of the way because that can still, despite our weaponry and our advancements, that can still kill you. So if again,
It's
if
almost
you're
like
getting
it's
here
almost
for
like the
millions
Cowboys.
of
It's almost like the Cowboys and Indians. Everything
weapon
was
is a
all
weapon.
good until they pulled out the boomsticks.
yeah, a weapon is a weapon. If you could die, you could die.
But if you said they always had the technology, then at the end of the day, if our airplanes,
I'm just saying that we don't have access to we don't have access to the answers that would actually satisfy any of us. That's what I'm saying.
That's very well said, because the guy that they interviewed said that the only reason he was coming out with this stuff was because they wouldn't give him all the way. He had the top clearance, and they wouldn't divulge all the information to him. So it's only a few that's actually required to keep the secret. Everybody else isn't even in the know. Even if they're working on these programs, like Bob Lazar said, they're specialized. So he was just working on the engine part. Somebody else is working on the piloting system. Somebody else is working on the anti-aircraft. So everybody's not in on the secret.
So pretty much dude told because he wanted to be a bitch because they didn't want to give him the contract.
Now, didn't we talk about that?
Like that?
He tried to talk about his feelings.
No, you know-
and now he a bitch.
You know what happened to him? Look, you know what really happened to him? He was rocking. He was going to Area 51. He had to go out there every day. They fly him into a special location. What happened with him is his wife was cheating on him, and they were tapping his phone. They were tapping his phone, and they said, "You know what? This is so stressful. It might affect him and his work. So we just gonna fire his ass." But the only way he found out all of the back end shit is because, like, yo, y'all fired me for what? Tapping my phone for what? Like, what am I in on? And then he started saying shit like, yo, I've worked with this, and this, and I've worked with this element.
That's some real
that
shit.
didn't get found for 20 more years.
Okay,
That's
now
some
listen.
sucker shit,
Like I said, this is going to be broadcast to millions of people across all different.
Hopefully, the aliens hear us.
Exactly.
So thanks to the dude for sleeping with his wife. That's why we got the information we got now.
From him. You know what? From him.
Shout out
I'm
to
just saying,
cheating.
say that to the
What I'm
team.
saying is this, right? So this human beings are able to do that, right? But I believe animals also connect to something that we don't know. They connect to someone's Wi-Fi, right?
Echolocation.
They
Echolocation, dolphins.
okay. They connect to somebody's Wi-Fi, right? So there's more signals out there to be had. The eyes of what's that? The snapper crab that makes a loud sonic boom. His eyes can see things that we can't see. There's infrared. There's all different kinds of wavelengths of things that we just don't know.
No, but we don't know. But as we figure them out, we're talking about them, and you're saying, but we don't know.
I'm just saying that all those things put together doesn't still come to the conclusion that you've already said. You've already said it. No, not you. I'm just saying those people who are putting.
Who
things
said,
forward.
"Hey,
Do you believe
hey,
in the possibility?
you post something.
Do you believe in the possibility, given the vastness of, well, shit, now they think that there's more than one universe. Do you think that given the possibility of all of the stars and planets out there, that there's no possibility that there's other
No. I just said that.
Because we take our ships and then we go to Mars. So you think somebody don't go, yo, who the fuck is that?
Atlantis, the flood that washed out the
see, that's the
pyramids.
thing is this right here. So the fact that we struggle to go to Mars as a planet,
We don't struggle, I don't think.
we struggle to get there.
I don't think so.
We struggle. It's you know how many times
We know
how long
how
it
to
takes
get
between.
there.
We know how to get there, but you know how long it takes for a launch to get there.
I think it goes back
All
to
right,
what I think
so
it goes
let me
back to what I
finish-
said before. Go ahead.
Let me finish my.
Alien touch.
Let me finish my. What I was gonna say. The fact that if an alien did exist or whatever the case may be, comes to this planet, he has to go through so many light years to get here. You don't think that he's not or whatever, or the alien is, because I don't want to mispronounce the alien or whatever the case may be.
They them.
They them.
Alien nouns.
Right? To get here. You think a nuclear weapon? That's what I'm just saying. As a planet, we could barely get there consistently.
That's us.
But that's ignorant. That's like
I'm not saying.
I'm
just saying.
Well, I'm tell you why.
Another species could come from.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Another
I'm
galaxy.
gonna tell you why that's ignorant. Because if you got
That's
to
like us driving to Florida.
No,
and
that's
the
what I'm
ants been like, yo, these niggas came from way up there.
No, look, that's ignorant because that's like you saying if we got to Mars and they just pulled out a fucking laser and shot you on Mars, I would be afraid of that too. If you got out of your spaceship on Mars, like, hey, welcome, and they like, not today.
I think that
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Me personally, all right.
It's still a fear
We're
of whatever it is.
using our reference point.
Yeah, we're using the reference point, and I'm only saying because, and I'm saying nuclear weapons, you're saying whatever you use to get there. Like, I got there, right? But people that I know who've gotten here before, they said be mindful that these people have boomsticks. It's like when people had spears before. Like, oh, they got boomsticks. So when you get off the Native Americans at some point was like, I don't want to get shot with the fucking boomstick. So you avoided it.
So what I'm saying is this.
I don't think they would be scared. I
don't think they're scared because they're showing up. I just said I think that.
Like
I said I think it's a deterrent because it's just like us being able to go to the moon or these other places. I don't think that we can't necessarily get there. I think it's when you get there what you have to deal with.
Yeah, you're not scared of a damn.
We went to the moon.
Possum with babies, but you're not gonna get close because they're gonna try and defend that.
We went to the moon allegedly once. And let's just go by science. They say we went to the moon once. We have a lot. Again, I said let's go by science. They say we went to the moon once. We've been that better.
We struggle to get there, right?
Do we really struggle to get there, or we probably had no, something might tell you get the fuck from over there.
Stay your ass out.
Stay your ass off the moon. No, you don't just go hang out in Brownsville around a bunch of
Even
bloods.
so that's perfect.
Get robbed one time.
That's exactly. That's exactly.
I learned my lesson.
I'm out.
Yeah, you pulled out a gun. I'm good.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So if on the recordings for the one time that we went up there, it says, "Listen, y'all niggas think y'all slick. I'm telling you, stay the fuck on earth. I'm not playing with you. Send another motherfucker up here. It's gonna be problems." Now that message could be absolutely real, but we don't have access to that message. So we are making these like, yo, technology, we got to figure it out. Maybe if we build a rocket, maybe if we use helium balloons, or maybe, no, listen. The reason why you can't make it back there is because there the message have been received. But the message that we received is none of our business.
That's because we
now you trying to turn this conference into the message. I'm telling you that if a person is keeping that secret from you, then what you see is not the secret.
We're the employees. Supervisors got more information than us. Managers got more information than them. And it's a few directors up there that have that information. So you're right. It's not going to trickle down.
Yeah,
to
but
the
don't
point
mean you
where,
can't talk about all the customers and keep doing shit.
Yeah, that don't mean we know. We still know. We're just not privy enough to actually be in those rooms to have the conversation.
All right, we're going to do this smash and grab. If you make it quick a tip slip. If you were abducted, what questions? Because tips, you got to put your pants
We know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah,
if you were abducted, what questions would you have for them?
Does it have to be a secret?
That's a good question.
That is a question.
That's a good question. What would I ask her? Like, what the fuck y'all be eating and shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck y'all got
Would you be
going
willing
on?
to go?
Huh?
Would you be willing to go?
I
If they
don't
told you I'm going to bring you back.
I'm going with it. Ezekiel.
Me, that it depends on because
they come in
I got children, so
If they go out in the middle and say, yo, I'm going to bring you back.
and when they gonna bring me back?
You
When they gonna bring me back?
What time you bring me back?
Like,
In a light second.
Niggas say who gonna be here?
you gotta be here.
You all over there.
You gotta be here before I gotta go to work.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, take me to work and bring me back.
Yeah, who else gonna land up there?
Can you
How
imagine
much it costs?
Stu showing up to work in a spacecraft? All right, if you were abducted, what questions would you ask them?
I got two questions. Mr. Alien Man. First, I want to know how much they know about us and our purpose in the universe, because that's another question that we can't seem to answer.
That's a good one.
Goddamn pyramids and what we here for. And the second one would be just how did they master space travel? Shit. If they got the resources that we got and they figured it out, I'm getting some money.
Like I said, they sending shit out now that we in our lifetime we would not really be able to get the data that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going out. They send out these probes and to see the other galaxies and to reflect. Yeah, we're in our lifetime, we'll never be able to get that information.
You think about it this way. You are listening to a radio with 1,000 different waves. Hot 97, 105, country, whatever, Z100. All of these wavelengths are on this radio. And you telling me with all of this information here that they gave you, you like, yo, I could definitely figure out what's on the other wave.
I never said that. We would speculate.
On the other radio?
I'm
No.
gonna say
What
this.
I'm saying is this. You can have this conversation all day about all of the radio, AM, FM, whatever, YouTube, all those waves. The wave that controls whatever, or the secret wave, you don't have access to.
That's our biggest threat, and that's one of the reasons they think that we're getting so many more visitations because we figured out.
Because there's so many more people tuning in to waves?
No, because we figured out radio waves. Radio waves is the only transmission signal that never dies. So if you shoot a signal into space, it doesn't tail off by the moon. That shit goes out indefinitely. So if you end up hitting a planet that has intelligent life and can pick up radio signals, they're gonna triangle. Yo, where's that shit coming from? That blue shit. Let's get over there and see what's making the noise on the blue shit. Because that's the only thing in the universe. Even light dies off, but radio signals go on forever and ever and ever. So they think that's the biggest fucking threat that we've created.
I hear you.
You, what you asking them?
I'm asking are there any other life? Are there any other life species? I think they alluded to that too. That it's not just one species. That there's
Star
other
Wars, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Shit, we out here.
All right.
Secret Invasion.
We
This just sound like Secret Invasion.
Got
That's what I wanna ask
the
them.
Kree is on Earth.
I want to ask them,
bro.
are there any things like us? You know?
They here.
No, I just want to ask, is there any?
And then why they ghost us? Why don't you ask them that?
Why they coming? They came
I think it's a
back.
fair. I think it's
just
generally a
ghost
fair.
us.
I think it's a fair. I think it's a fair because
Because y'all playing with your little nuclear
or something
toys.
happened. Or something happened maybe during the course of time that everybody just like we ain't fucking with y'all no more.
Y'all
Y'all
be flooding shit.
Yeah.
Y'all keep that.
All right. There's no smash and grab to this, so we're gonna make this the last segment of the day. Governor of the day. I'm gonna let you lead the speaker because I want to see where you're going. Ending homelessness. If given the authority, how would you alleviate the homeless crisis in our communities? And this is separating the migrant issue right now. This is strictly talking about I'm being clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the question is, right, like when you say like there's things that we no longer want, right? Like homelessness, right? Then what is it that you want to do with those people who suffer from that thing, right? So if you're going to say, I want people to be housed, how do they maintain? We all know that housing has to be maintained, right? Is it supposed to be maintained by us? Should it be maintained by that individual? And if that, how much do we have to alter that person in order to keep them in a homeless, inside of a home, should I say? How much do we have to alter a homeless person to make them housable, is what I'm saying. That's the question that I have.
Well, for me personally, majority of homelessness comes from drugs, drug addiction. I just went to the bank so I could pay Klein or whatever the case may be. And as I'm walking down the block, you see a group of homeless individuals shooting up. And not only did I just see them doing it, police will walk down the block.
You think I'm shooting up when I'm smoking my cigarettes too?
No. If you see a real syringe, you see a motherfucker put a syringe out, then motherfucker shooting up. He ain't. Come on, let's be for real. You got track marks all up on your leg.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like it comes to where we have to. First of all, we have to control the drug problem. That's one. And then if you want to resolve, and homelessness is not saying that I don't want to sound rude or. A bulk of it is a choice, because there are programs for you. There are shelters. There are things where they even get better living if you go into the shelter, because they give you you find an apartment, you get a job, they take a portion of your check, which is if you ain't really making much, it ain't really much that they're taking, and they help you get into an apartment where you're only paying $20 to $60 a day. I worked my first job after I got out of college was working security at Ward's Island, a men's shelter. And then you know what these people would do? They didn't want to conform to the rules and regulations. I'd rather sit outside on the east side. That's why they call it Zombie Land, because the shelter's right there. That's one of the reasons why they over there. They get off that bus, sit there all day, get high, beg people for money, and they don't want to take the time or the initiative to get themselves together. Now there are even with females that have kids, there's no reason for a female to have kids to be on the street. There's shelters for that. You guarantee to get a place to stay. So it just comes down to like, the drug problem, the people that's on the street that are rather live on the street and live right over a train vent so they can get warm during the winter. That's a choice. That's a personal choice. And if you want to get rid of them, you got to put them somewhere. You out here, get rid of you. Put you in a place where you can't. If you do leave, you have to go through rehab, a job placement before you even get out of here. And if that's not what you want to do, then you don't need to get out. You can't get out. Because we gave you the opportunity to do it on your own and you didn't do it. So it comes down to be a little bit of a force. That may go against the human rights, but if you homeless, do you really care about your rights?
Yes.
Let's be for real. Like, you don't care about your rights. You're homeless. You sitting on. I'm giving you free room. I'm giving you room and board. Making sure that you're doing something with your, getting you clean, implementing that you get a job. So I'm helping you out.
Yes and no. You're definitely doing it by most societal standards, but at the same time, like you said, it's a choice. So if you're offering somebody a choice,
But I'm taking a choice away from you now.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're limiting the choices that you are saying this person has, they likely don't want any of them, and that's why I was thinking that my stance is homelessness is not a matter of lack of housing. I don't think it's a housing issue at all. Like you said, I think it's other factors involved. I think there's mental health. I think there's substance abuse. I think there's educational factors. I think that there's counseling factors. And even I think, honestly, the most important one to me would be just relationship establishment, period. Because if you are on your last leg and you are in decent standing with your family or friends, nobody's going to watch you sleep outside. But if you fuck up those relationships and you don't take advantage of the opportunities presented to you, now nobody wants to deal with you. So now you're forced to go out there on your own, potentially suffering these mental lapses, these substance abuse issues, because all you want to do at this point is cope. And I don't think most of them that are outside, choosing to live outside, I don't think they give a shit about being homeless.
They don't. And that's the problem.
But I also feel like because of them making their choices, we can't force them into being better people.
You can't force it, but you have to get them off the street. That's the problem that you have. They are on the street. So something has to give. So even if you don't want to do it for yourself, I'm going to force you to do something.
That's the problem.
But listen, that's what I said. It's a solution. I ain't say that it's possible for them to do it. But if it was you asking me my opinion, if that's the way we was going to go, it would have to be a force. You ain't doing shit. You got this year on the corner.
Laying down the corner. You ain't doing shit.
You ain't doing shit. You're asking people for $1 and a change so you can get high and maybe get you a slice of pizza. So you might as well do some shit that's productive. That's going to help you out in the long run. Prolong your life. Get you off of the streets so you don't die of AIDS or any disease. You out there. Come on, we get them into a place where now we even aiding them by giving them syringes and all these other things for them to get high with. Like, you gotta cut.
But we asking for a better quality of life. But you also aided.
I want you to answer before
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna tie all this together.
And you're cutting the legs. You're cutting the legs off. You cutting the legs for us to get rid of that. You just helping them. You coping with them. You helping them cope. And we don't need to help them cope. We need to help them get the fuck off the streets. That's it.
I think for the homeless thing, I think let the homeless people be homeless if that's their choice, right? And I'm speaking specifically to New York City. If you are homeless, it's virtually a choice, right? I heard somebody say, I ain't going to no shelter. They're going to steal your stuff. I'm like, what the stuff you need to protect if you're sleeping on the street? So that's one. But
you protecting them from yourself if you listen to me, though. I'm just saying.
But then I think the average citizen fucks up. And I think the homeless problem is the average citizen's problem. And I'll tell you why. Because we try to cater to different things like, oh, but he's mentally ill. Oh, he has this issue. The problem is we shut down all the mental health institutions. We need to force people to go to those things. They have to go to those things. It's not if you're mentally ill. If you're just homeless and you being homeless, then you can stay the fuck outside.
Everybody mentally ill nowadays.
If you crazy, you gotta go. If you're actually addicted to drugs and then we can't arrest you for those drugs, we can't do nothing about that. We just out here just letting you be. So it's okay for you to shoot
up in the street.
No, that's what I'm saying. If as a person, if you can't, if we as New York City can't say, hey, you're arrested for it because it's an illness, then you know what? And I'm gonna be funding it in some way. I think funding it should go like you have to go to.
That shit don't happen where we live at.
You have to not at all. You definitely got to go to a program, and then but if you just want to be a regular person who just want to be homeless, I'm cool with that. If those other two, if mental health and drugs are not your two things, because mental health, we need the mental health facilities. And that's the same thing with people like going to jail. They want to shut down Rikers Island. I mean, whoever's opinion is their opinion. But I think you just build a better facility to put people in. I don't think the idea is
in the corner.
I don't think the better idea is he ain't really do nothing, and then you see him come outside with a plastic bag acting crazy, and he on the train smacking people and playing a knockout game, because that's why you get more people pushing people on the trains. That's why you get more people spitting on people or knocking people out. Like, they be like, oh, he's Asian, and he knocked the person out. I'm like, this motherfucker just crazy. Just crazy John just punching people in the face. First person he saw. he had no business on 96th Street. You know what I mean? So I think the problem is you have to force people who have quote unquote these issues to do things.
And
I
that's
think we
what
round
you-
them up and drop their ass off far.
Yeah,
You can
but
make
like-
your way back, then I'm gonna drop you off again.
But like I said, that's
Like the- back in the day,
that's the
drop Staten Island,
majority
Bum shuttle.
of homelessness now: mental illness and drugs.
Well, then, yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and that's
because
pretty
I think
much
I
what
think
you-
I mean
I
personally, I,
agree.
think it's cheaper. I think
Majority.
it's cheaper, also too, and it saves the city a lot more time and money if you just house them. If you take one of those tall ass buildings over there and say, "Y'all hang out here,"
But that's what they did
This is-
already.
this is-
They
this is-
gave you
here's-
armories,
here's-
and that shit still didn't work.
no, it did because they start releasing the people. They say if they say, "Oh, so and so is bipolar." How many times I hear, "Oh, he's bipolar," and I see a sign outside. We're looking for John. He's bipolar. Why the fuck is his bipolar ass outside
Because they
being able to
don't-
make a
If you
decision?
gather-
But they don't, because I'm not for. I'm gonna just say because I worked in the men's shelter.
Half of them don't
What
fuck
happens
with
when
you.
you go there? You go through intake, right? You go through intake. They process you or whatever the case may be, and their niche is you go stay a dorm setting, whatever the case may be. But after a certain time, you have to go out. This is not a chill all day type of place. That's why you see them outside around a certain time, hanging around, lingering
Now I
around.
need to be supervised.
Yes,
But-
well, I get it, but at the same time, you don't want to aid them in a bit, helping them be even lazy, where they just sit in there all day. But unless you go in, and that's what the incentive is when you go to intake is for you to be. They give you a counselor or whatever the case may be, so what process you show you can start you to looking for you for a job.
They need to treat that
Sitting
shit like
on
the
job
halfway
for-
house.
Yes, and that's the thing. But
But
that's
you-
what
okay,
they, but
Kid.
it does do it like that. But you have to go out, and these people don't
Nah, I
want
want
to.
them out.
They don't want to. They don't want
I
to
want
take
them
the
out.
responsibility of doing that.
They
I
need
want
to
them
do
out.
this where they say
Here's-
same shit like my bad, and then I'm done. They need to say it like the halfway house, like you need to bring us some paperwork saying that you have a job. If you don't have a job, all 30 of you motherfuckers are going to this job every day until you get your own. And if you don't abide by those rules and those standards, again, the consequence is what? We putting you out, but then you're gonna be right
back.
in the same
I
system.
feel like you just have somebody watch the motherfuckers. You got a job. I got a job watching you for 8 hours.
That's jail.
So
I know.
Like I said,
problem-
you work at the you work at the pizzeria. I'm sitting out in front of the
problem
pizzeria
that I
watching
see,
you.
the problem that I see is the fact that we keep looking at them like they're outsiders.
They are. Oh, sorry.
The crazy ones.
They're not. They're our brothers. They're our civilians. They're our sisters. And if you believe that a community is a community, the reason why it doesn't happen in you guys' communities is because there's when you walk down the block, you're the black guy in your neighborhood.
because Karen ain't taking that shit.
Hold on. Exactly. She's not.
They
She's
barely
not.
taking me.
But we walk past them every day. We ignore them and we think that whatever they're dealing with, that it's something separate. But the only thing that you have that they don't is a community. They don't have you to look at them.
The choice, and this is why I says. That's why I
It's
said.
not-
That's
you
why
know,
I said.
don't say that
That's why I
because
said
don't say that.
relationships.
Don't say that because
He did say that he hit on.
Yeah.
He gave them. He said you got friends or whatever. And when you
And when you break those bridges,
then you're not part of that community anymore.
Yeah.
You forced your way
Yeah,
out. of the
but-
community.
it's you know what we have what they don't have. Ambition.
How would?
no.
Ambition. That's all
No,
it boils
they're
down
not
to is
just-
ambition.
Most people
It's-
that
it's-
have homes are not ambitious. They're just
listen,
people who have to who
But they're
can't
ambitious
comply.
enough to have someone to lay the motherfucking head. That's
Regardless,
enough.
we could talk about the semantics in the middle, and I'm not trying to nullify what you're saying, but all of it could fit inside of a box. The bottom line is,
If you look at it the way you guys are looking at it, then you'll never solve the school shooter problem. You know why you can't stop the school shooter problem? Because you don't believe that you should even be interacting with that weirdo. You think he's somebody else.
nobody said that.
Hold on,
Nobody
hold
we
on.
said
The
don't
reason-
enable. We said don't enable him.
Thank
No,
you.
no, no,
No, this is, no. We're gonna clarify what you're saying.
Hold
You
on.
said don't
So why
interact
does
with him.
every school shooting result in one
Now we go in
person?
another direction. We're not. we can't do
No. Listen to me. All these mental health issues and these problems with society, a lot of times result in people not doing it for the community.
So if we deal with the mental health issue and not the fact that they're homeless, then we tackle the problem. Because you're tackling homelessness as if it's a big group and we're putting them all together. If you're saying he has a drug problem, then let's fix his drug problem. If you're telling me he has a mental health issue, let's fix his mental
but he
health
has
issue.
a drug problem because he don't have something else.
But we can't
What?
always. We can't
Oh,
always.
what's the something else?
the community.
But we can't always find.
That's not why he has a drug problem.
We can't always find the
That's enabling.
outliers.
Hold on.
That's
hold on.
enabling.
You don't think that you guys keep me here?
No, if you want to go do drugs, you can. We just get a fourth note for 400.
You want to be you?
If you want to do drugs,
You don't think my mother keeps me here?
your
don't
mother.
think-
But
hold
again,
on. What I'm saying is, when you break down,
You're
the
arguing
fact-
against yourself. He just said if you have a community of people and you break those ties, you haven't broken these ties. If you have a community and you break these ties to just be, to contribute to your drug habit, if you want to continue your drug habit and you just saying fuck Mike after Mike tried to talk to me, fuck Stu, and you just keep doing your drugs, then you break that tie, then yes, you're an outsider at that point.
But not even, you don't even have to break the community. Some people are naturally outliers and they choose to be solitary for their own good. And if we're saying that, no, we have to welcome that person and we have to make them play in all the reindeer games, we're not always going to be able to collect every single person and make them feel welcome. So there will be those outliers. Granted, if we can identify them,
somewhere. They come from a community that they failed to.
yeah, but if we can identify them, then we can start to do that. But right now, identifying homeless people means that they've already fucked up so bad that we can only identify them by them sleeping on the street.
Yeah.
It's not like we walk down the street and be like, yo, you got a good job, but in 3 years you're gonna be homeless. Let me help you out. It's like, the fuck, yeah.
And you got to wake every homeless person up to see what their problem is. Hey, do you have a drug? Because every homeless person doesn't have a drug problem.
Some of them got a pocket full of money.
Some of them that. Some people have mental health issues. Some people want to be homeless. Some people have alcohol problems. These different things that you have to attack. But instead of being an enabler, because that's what I'm going to call you, you're saying, oh, we all need to welcome them in. Yeah, take the doors off your house then and let them in.
But that, no. What I'm
I
saying is
don't
this.
know.
Hold on.
I got something for you because we grew up in a house, right? We grew up in a house where we had a certain individual. I'm not gonna say his name. Live in our house that did shit, right? No matter, and he had a community of us. We all looked up to him at one point when we were younger. And then when we get to older in that age, we started to see like this person wanted to be what the fuck they wanted to be. So with that being said, it doesn't matter about the community. It's that personal choice to sit there and say, I'd rather be here. No matter what our grandma, our grandfather, your mama, my aunt, your aunts, whatever it may be, they're even their own children. You've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
So you can't sit here and keep going hard and saying, oh, there's no community. That person makes that decision faithfully because that's what they want to do.
What was your answer at first?
My answer was this. We take them, send them away, put them in a drug program, get whatever. That's what I said.
Was that moment unrealistic and undoable in this
I
world?
didn't. You said
Hold on,
my suggestion.
Hold on.
That was a
I'm
suggestion. I
asking.
said it was
I'm asking
illogical.
you.
It
Don't
was
be mad.
happening.
Don't be mad.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
Was that unreasonable?
That's what I tried to avoid.
Does that not map onto the world that we live in?
Listen, you're sitting here saying, but at the end
Hold
of the day,
on.
it makes logical sense for us. But you know what? They have to want to participate in that entity. If they don't want to participate, I can't do that. That's the whole thing. I just sat here and told you I worked in a men's shelter. You come to the men's shelter, they put you in the fucking intake, you go through the process, they give you a fucking counselor.
I don't care.
Shoot him.
And it's up to you. It all goes up to you.
400. Wow. Tell us what you think, guys. Go in the comment section.
Yeah,
Let us
tell us
know.
what you think.
We got a lot of homelessness. I know a lot of people want to talk about
Whose
the
hands
migrants
is
stuff.
If you see a homeless alien that's looking a little vulnerable,
Yeah.
make sure you tell him you love him.
Yeah.
Who you giving your change to?
Those co-parenting aliens.